So finally, here it is, a 1-year pay comparison statement. So what I've done is I've consolidated 3 owner-operators pay statements here at our company. I have been able to consolidate a 1-year statement for 3 different drivers, 2 of them in our van reefer division and 1 of them in our flatbed division. One of the things that we're going to be analyzing within their pay statements is number 1, obviously their gross revenue. What were they actually able to gross out over the course of a year working on the pay packages that we have? The second thing I want to go over is probably deductions. The third thing that we're going to be able to go over is repairs and what drivers netted annually. So that's really what we want to know. We want to know what in the world did these owner operators make after 1 full year. We will also be taking 2 of these owner operators, comparing their payroll statements. So for example, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these 2 owner operators and we're going to pretend like they were company drivers within our industry and see how much money they made at the end of the year. So you can see the difference between what an owner operator makes and what a company driver makes. I will also be going into a little bit of detail regarding corporations and taxes. I've done in the past a 3-month consolidated pay statement. I've done in the past a 6-month consolidated pay statement. I guess I should be doing a separate video just on corporations and the advantages of corporations, but I'm going to be talking about taxes and corporations in this video while I'm going over the pay statements. There's so many comments on taxes and building wealth within your corporation, so I think I gotta give you a couple of minutes on that, on building wealth within your corporation. So in my past videos, there have been comments about taxes, about bonuses, and about HST reimbursements. So I'm definitely going to be addressing each one of these points while I'm going over these statements. So I've taken notes in your comments on the last videos. And also I want you guys to keep in mind that the rates that we pay here in Canada are very, very competitive. I know that in the US, they're not that competitive. I know that you guys in the US get paid a lot more than what we do, but in Canada, these are the rates that we get paid. An owner operator here would get paid $1.55 per mile in the van reefer division, and we pay $1.76 per mile in our flatbed division. So there's one thing that I want to quote. I just want to quote Steve Jobs. I think that I'd like to pass this on to you guys. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. So that's a quote by Steve Jobs. I also believe that in order to love what you do, you need to be fairly compensated for your time. So compensation, I feel like, when I'm making a lot more money, I want to put in more hours. I want to do a better job, and I want to be fairly compensated for what I do. So let's get into these pay statements. So let's get into the first one. This is unit number 216 that works in our van reefer division. So this unit produced approximately 147,000 miles within 12 months. On average, you did 12,250 miles per month. So in the van reefer division, as you probably know, here in the GTA, whether in Milton or in our Maritimes terminal, we usually have trailers loaded up for drivers. So when drivers come, they hook onto their trailer and off they go. And that's how they're able to produce such a high volume of miles. So on average, is 12,250 miles is what this driver did. The total miles that he drove in the year. And this year is from September to August. So we basically took September, we took 24 pay statements, okay, to add for 1 full year. I will be posting this up. So here's the pay statement, the consolidated pay statement. So the driver did $229,000 in gross. He did get a Q3 bonus. Every quarter here we give a bonus, so he only qualified for the Q3 bonus. And then everything here in the second section is reimbursement. So if the driver paid for tolls, scales, faxes, or parking, then he gets that reimbursed because the company pays for all these expenses. So let's get into his deductions. So this driver within a full year had paid disability insurance, buy down insurance, and there's amount plus HST, fuel Canadian, fuel US. So don't forget that when you are a owner operator, whatever you paid in fuel or whatever expense that you had that you paid HST for, your corporation gets it back in the end of the year. So not only do you get your net pay, but you also claim a lot of HST from the government because corporations are able to do that. They're not supposed to be paying taxes. So you have his bill for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and then we get into truck repairs. So this driver did have repairs over the year. Luckily, he only had 4 repairs. I chose specifically the drivers that put their repairs on the company as a company expense. So what they do is, they use the company credit card and then it gets taken off from their pay. The reason I took these 3 owner operators is because they pay with the company credit card and then it gets reimbursed. Then it gets deducted from their pay because I wanted to show you how much repairs owner operators can face within a year. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them have only $3,000-$4,000 like this driver here did. And this driver over here, I would say that it's safe to say that he got 33, 43, 53, about $6,000 in repairs over the year. Okay guys, so this driver netted $138,714 within the course of a full year. Now, let's talk a little bit about corporations, okay? So I haven't talked about this yet. So $138,000, really, I don't think a driver needs that much to live. I don't think any one of us really needs that much to live. I don't know what kind of lavish life you guys are living, but I don't need that much in order to live. So what the advantages of a corporation are is you take this $138,000 and you pay yourself a salary. So whether you need $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to live, there's still a lot of wealth accumulated in your corporation. So the advantages of having a corporation is that you pay yourself only what you need. So if you live a lifestyle of $50,000 or $60,000, you pay yourself $50,000 or $60,000. You pay the CPP, EU, and EI here in Canada, which is your taxes on personal income tax. And then the rest of the $70,000 or $80,000 stays inside your corporation. What do you do with that money? Whatever you want to do with that money, because you really need to accumulate wealth here. Take advantage of these corporations. You want to accumulate wealth within your corporation and then pay yourself whatever it is that you need in order to survive throughout the year. Again, tip number 1, do not take this money out for yourself solely and spend it all. You're gonna have a crazy bill at the end of the year from the tax man. So our income tax rates in Ontario are 11.5%. So your corporation that made $138,000 minus your $50,000. So on the $88,000 that's left over, you're gonna be paying 11.5% taxes on that money, and that's it. That money is staying inside your corporation. So build wealth in this corporation. Take advantage of that. If next year, if you only need $30,000 to live or $35,000 to live, don't pull yourself a $75,000, $85,000 salary. Leave that money within your corporation. Build the wealth. How do you build the wealth? Well, you start buying assets, not on your personal name, but through your corporation. Take advantage of these low tax rates. If you're gonna withdraw $200,000, $300,000 from your corporation, you're gonna be paying 47, 48% taxes right away when you pull out this money. Right? So don't do that. Leave the money within the corporation and start buying whatever it is that you need. Whether your dream is to buy 2, 3, 4 trucks, well, guess what? Now you can do it. If you want to buy an asset, if you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a condo, if you want to buy stocks and get into that, you do that through your corporation and let the corporation accumulate wealth. So now let's go into the second owner operator and see how well he did. I'm going to take the second owner operator as an example, and I'm going to be talking a lot about the HST returns that we get as owner operators. Okay, so here in Canada, we get a lot of HST returns, especially on our Canadian fuel. So our fuel is more expensive, but we do receive 13% back. The HST portion of it that we do receive back whenever we fill up. So every 3 months or every 6 months or every year, depending how your corporation is set up, you get the taxes back on your fuel. So I am going to go into the second owner operator who's also in our van reefer division. I will leave the flatbed division to last. Stay tuned because their pays are usually the highest. I do want to talk about this second owner operator because this second owner operator ran into a lot of repairs throughout the year. And the reason why I brought this up is to show you guys that it's not always roses when you are an owner operator. Sometimes the year is good and sometimes you run into a year where your truck is going to break down more than usual. So let's take this owner operator, an owner operator unit number 214. He was able to produce 132,000 miles throughout the year. So 132,000 miles, divide that by 12. So this driver averaged approximately 11,000 miles every single month. If you want the exact numbers, I've posted it here and I've broken it down into months. So first pay of September, second pay of September, first pay of October, second pay, and you can see the whole 12 months. Another thing that you'll be able to see is the January and February, we really don't slow down. It's a go, go, go situation over here. But let's get back to the video. So he was able to gross out $203,699. Now, he did get a clean inspection, so we won't go into too much detail about that. So this driver was able to hit all 4 of his bonuses: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. In total, the driver made $206,000. Now let's start talking about his deductions. So $2,500 was his deduction, disability insurance, buy down insurance, fuel Canadian. So here you see that this driver paid $32,000 in fuel in Canada. So this driver, not only did he take this net pay home, but he also is going to be claiming about 13% of that $32,000. So this driver is going to get about $4,100 back in his HST return, but he's also going to be getting an HST return for all these repairs that he did. Okay, so anything that he paid HST for throughout the year, he is going to get it back. Let's take a look through his repairs. So here the driver ran into $1,300 repair, $129 repair, $1,900 repair, $24 repair, $53, $520, $16, $29, $1,129. So I'm really just concentrating on the big ones. $110, $258, $1,500. So this driver throughout the year probably spent about a good portion of about $15,000, maybe $10,000 to $15,000 in repair. So that's about $1,000 a month that this driver paid in repairs. What did the driver take home? So the driver took home $100,000 net to his pocket. So $100,000 net into his pocket, and I talk a lot about these, what drivers make is about $8,300 a month over the course of 12 months. Now he still has to pay taxes on this. So what's wrong with his truck? I personally think that his truck eats too much fuel. Why? Because I see here that he paid $48,000 in fuel and $32,000 in fuel, which probably means that he has an older truck. Well, I can get into that later on in this video, or watch one of my fuel consumption videos so you can see how much fuel consumption an economical truck drives and how much fuel consumption an older unit drives. So unit 2 and 4, I believe, is a much older unit that consumes a lot of fuel. So here's the driver that took home $100,000 net into his pocket after he paid for everything. All right, guys, so before I go into the third pay, which is the flatbed pay, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about if you are in a situation that you're buying a truck or refinancing a truck or thinking of upgrading your truck. I have created a link below, and what it does is when you fill it out, this link will go to 4 different finance companies. Okay, so do not trust the recommended finance company of the dealership where you're buying the truck. Make sure you use this link below. Whether you're going to use them or not going to use them, the least you can do is double check that the financing rates that you got for your purchase are competitive. And the only way you're gonna do that is if you click this link below, you fill out this form that's literally gonna take you between 20 to 30 seconds to fill out, but it could save you thousands of dollars. So if you are getting a quote from a finance company, click this link below and make these 4 finance companies compete for your business. I guarantee you, the least you can do is you're gonna come back to the finance company that you wanna choose and you're gonna chop their rates down. And that would make me very happy if you're able to get better prices on your financing. So guys, click the link below and fill out that form and get these 4 banks to compete for your financing needs. Enough is enough. You need to make them compete against one another. All right, guys, so we saved the best for last, the flatbed division, an owner-operator in our flatbed division. So it's a full 1-year pay statement. Let's get into his pay. One thing that you do need to keep in mind is this flatbed driver who's been working for us for the last year, he actually leases the truck from us. So what does that mean? That we charge him a monthly payment for his truck, and after the course of 3 or 4 years, the truck is paid off and the truck is going to be his. So we're gonna need to add back all his lease payments to the bottom line in order to see what this guy made net per year, and then obviously he has his truck payments. So let's get to it. So this truck driver grossed out $236,000. Okay, he got $150 in tarping. So the reason it's only $150 in tarping for the entire course of the year is because our fleet is 99% roll tights. So there is no tarping in our company. We have roll tights, so you don't get paid for tarping. What you do get paid for is mileage. He did bring a driver here and got a referral. He did hit all 4 of his quarterly bonuses. So in total, he grossed out $240,000. Now he did have a holdback of $5,000, so that really needs to be added back to him because that's his money. And here is $30,000 in payments per year for the full year. So he pays $1,093 every 15 days. Multiply that by 24, you'll get to $29,000. Disability insurance, buy-down insurance, fuel Canadian, fuel US, and then you have your four if the payments, and then you have all of his repairs. So let's get to the bottom line. The bottom line is $123,993. So this driver made $123,993 plus his $29,645 plus the $5,000 holdback that we took. So this driver actually netted as an owner operator $158,000 once we divide that by 12. So he actually made $13,200 per month. And if you want to see the breakdown of each one of his pays, so there's 24 pays here, so you can see all 24 pays, and each one of these numbers is what he netted in that pay. You do also have his repairs over here, so he did have repairs. You can see all that over here, so whether it's repairs, whether it's oil changes, all the numbers are here. You can have a look at this. You know, $13,200. I think that this is a very successful owner operator. He happens to be a lease operator, so his payments are going through the company. But at the end of the day, the story is there. What we're here for is to see what these guys make in one full year. So grossing $236,000, not bad at all. The amount of mileage that he produces, 140,000 miles. Divide that by 12. So he did on average 11,666 miles in our flatbed division per month, which you can probably see here in these statements that January, February, and March, there is really no slowdown of mileage in these slow months. I know other drivers are experiencing that in other companies. In our company, there really is no slowdown for those that want to work in January and February and December. We're still running at full force. So I hope you learned a lot from this video. These are annual pay statements of our drivers within our fleet, what they make throughout the entire year. When we consolidated into one pay statement, you have three examples. You have two drivers working in the van reefer division, and you have one driver working in the flatbed division. You have one owner operator that's more successful than the other, and that's only because his fuel consumption is better and because he has a newer truck. And the owner operator that only made $100,000, he has an older truck and consumes fuel a lot more, and you can really see it at the end of the year. Let's not forget the HST returns. All these drivers, on all of their expenses, they still need to receive an HST return. So these are not final numbers, and I highly recommend, guys, that whatever that bottom line number is, that you only take yourself from your corporation, take yourself personally, a salary of what you need to survive off of. So if you only need $40,000 or $50,000, just pay yourself from your corporation that $50,000, divide that by 12 payments, and be organized. Every 1st and 15th, pull yourself a salary out from your corporation and build that wealth inside your corporation. Do not pull out all the money, because taxman is going to come at the end of the year, and the last thing you need is the anxiety and stress, and to give you all these problems that will take you away from driving and take you away from producing the mileage and working as an owner operator. You need to be stress-free on the road, and in order for you to do that, you really need to plan your year properly, and you need to plan the taxes properly, and you need to manage your money properly. I'm going to be bringing out some more videos about managing money, about rich truckers versus poor truckers. I'm going to be talking a lot about corporations. I'm going to be talking a lot about taxes and tax planning. So if you're interested in these videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like this video. And if you have a comment or a question, leave it down below. Yes, sometimes I do make errors when I speak and when I look at the notes. Some people have caught me in a couple of mistakes that I've made over the last couple of videos that I've done. If you do see that I said something wrong, or I mentioned the number wrong, call me out on it below. I don't mind. I'll have an open conversation with you. If you want to get into more detail about taxes and into more dissecting numbers, then subscribe to this channel, because I am a nerd and I like to talk about number crunching. So give it a thumbs up, and hope to see you in my next video.